I once made a video called 50 Unpopular Guitar Opinions, and I thought those were the most unpopular opinions you guys could come up with, but all I had to do was read the comments section, and lo and behold, there were ridiculous opinions galore! So many, in fact, that I decided to follow up with 50 more of your most unpopular opinions about guitar.
Yeah, well, you know, that's just like, your opinion, man.
Buckethead is criminally underrated. He's criminally so that means that people are getting arrested for not talking about Buckethead. Emo has some of the most unique approaches to guitar in modern music. Listening to a band like Mellow or American Football is very refreshing if you're open-minded and can look past whiny vocals. Yeah, I think the vocals turn a lot of people off to this kind of screamo emo. One of the bands that inspired me a lot when I was in high school is Red Jumpsuit Apparatus, and they have some awesome guitar parts. I like the whiny vocals. I think it sounds cool. You know, it's really shiny and crunchy. The vocals, I like them. I like screamo.
I wish I was an emo singer. Oh.
If guitar players cared about music and composition as much as they obsessed over equipment and tone, there would be a lot more good music out there. Yeah, but we'd all be bored. You think I have all this crap because I just need it? No. This is part of the fun. I like the sound and feeling of old acoustic guitar strings. Such a unique and folky sound that I love on acoustic. Takes off some of the high end, definitely not on an electric though. Ew, this is the worst one. I hate old acoustic strings. It's like rubbing your fingers across barbed wire. At least on an electric, they're lighter. Acoustic old guitar strings? No way, man. Disagree completely, and that opinion is unpopular. Great job! Schecters are kind of insane for the price. An example of this is a Schecter guitar for $12.99 with glow-in-the-dark inlays, an EMG pickup with a Staniac, a Floyd Rose. Well, I will say that those features don't make a good guitar. Just because it has some fancy electronics and a fancy bridge doesn't mean it's a good guitar. The guitar is all about the neck. I'm not really familiar with Schecters, I'll probably have to get one now, but if the neck isn't good, I don't care if it has the most insane pickups and bridge and pretty little appointments, it's not gonna be good. Sorry. So I'll have to put Schecter through its paces if everybody thinks that they're so great. My old bass player got all pissy when I called him a 4-string drummer. Funnily enough, the drummer wasn't offended. Well, that's because drummers, they don't really have high IQs. You know, you can actually tell if the drum riser's level by if the drool is coming simultaneously perfect out of both sides of the drummer's mouth. And bass players getting pissy? I mean, what else is new? You guys know I'm joking when I insult bass players in my videos, right? The P-bass is definitely the coolest bass on the planet. It is. You know why they call it a P-bass, don't you? It stands for precision. What were you thinking? The Dean Dimebag is the most underrated guitar. I would say the most underrated guitar is the one that you think you need to replace.
You already have a good guitar in your hands. Why do you need another one?
You're underrating what you have here.
Don't buy another guitar. No.
That's not me. Whoa, who was that? There's absolutely nothing wrong with learning overplayed, forbidden, annoying riffs because most of those riffs offer some value. Of course there's nothing wrong. I just happened to invent the idea that there's such thing as a forbidden riff. Okay, Wayne's World invented the stairway thing, but I popularized it, and many people afterwards have spread this gospel. Point is, yes, these songs are incredibly valuable to any musician who wants to learn them. That's why they're so popular. But in my opinion, it is fun to grind the gears of people who take life a little too seriously and can't quite understand that, yes, you can play anything you want, anywhere you want, anytime you want. The reason for so many guitars is because we play so many different songs and different tunings. Like our set list will range from E standard to drop F sharp. Yeah, that's the reason. I'm so glad somebody said it. Yeah, that's why we need all the guitars. For the tunings. Drop F sharp. Yeah, you have to write songs on an acoustic, then you can play them on a solid body. And green guitars are louder. That's definitely an unpopular opinion. You don't have to write a song on an acoustic to play it in a full band context, but I will say it is kind of a good method to just get the basic pieces of a song down. So I think there's the appeal for you. But I also think that green guitars are louder, and that's not an opinion, that's a fact. Here, I'll prove it to you. Unpopular opinion, it does not matter what guitar you play for a genre, you can get a good sound for any genre with any guitar. Maybe it's unpopular, but I made a video about this exact topic. Yes, you can play metal on a Strat. Yes, you can play country on an SG. There are plenty of different applications for guitars in different genres. It's really all about these fingies, you know what I'm saying? Guitarists are by far the snobbiest groups of musicians out there. Doesn't matter what you play or how well you play it, you'll always have multiple comments crapping on what you're doing, blah, 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 blah. I think that might actually be true. Who is a snobbier group of musicians than guitarists? guitar players. I mean, look at me.
Snob.
I think guitar is the most popular instrument, so with that comes more people to share their opinions. You know, the bass niche or the drum niche, you don't find as many people playing and, you know, making content around those instruments as guitar. In particular, guitar players are just a little self-conscious, but generally the rule of thumb is if somebody is bringing down somebody else's guitar playing, they suck. So take solace in that fact. I have guitars with elixir coated strings I haven't changed in over 10 years. No problem, they look and feel and sound great. Well, then you haven't played your guitar at all for 10 years. There's no way any guitar string lasts for 10 years. They don't look great, they don't feel great, and they don't sound great, in my opinion. Great job. That's the sound of every Smashing Pumpkins fan dying inside when he called Bullet with butterfly wings Rat in a Cage. Yes, in the previous video of Unpopular Opinions, I called a Smashing Pumpkins song Rat in a Cage. Yes, the title is Bullet with butterfly wings. Here's my opinion. I don't care. Ha! You knew what I was talking about. Ha! On alternate tunings, I often start kids off in open G if they're discouraged and want to hear themselves play something lovely. Joni for the kids. The only issue is they can't do anything after that. Like, what happens after they play that open G? All right, now what? Let's tune the guitar back up because we can't really do anything else, and you're not gonna like just learn guitar in open G. So yeah, probably not the best teaching method, in my opinion. When I started playing guitar in the late 80s, a friend of mine who was just starting out on keyboard said, guitar is easier to learn than keyboard. Of course, we never agreed on that one. Being best friends, we had little disagreements like all the time. Fun! Last time I checked, you don't have to rub your flesh into metal in order to make a note on a keyboard. So, nope. I like how you use pinch harmonics to censor the cuss words. I like Death Clock too. I love Death Clock. Yeah. Popular opinion, Tyler's one of my favorite content creators. I feel so warm inside. Tyler is a master at sneaking in his promotional ads without being annoying. And did you know that Guitar Super System is an application that I built with over hundreds of hours of content in dozens of different curriculums from beginner to master, music theory, licks, tips, tricks, songwriting, technique, and more. It's all in there, link in the description. Moving on. More people will always adore David Gilmour's bends and simple runs more than any arpeggio sweep from Yngwie Malmsteen. Well yes, Yngwie Malmsteen, nobody cares about his technique. But if you happen to mean Yngwie Malmsteen, no. I appreciate those sweeps and arpeggios far more than David Gilmour's bends and licks. I like David Gilmour's bends and licks better, but I appreciate and respect what Yngwie does because I can't do that. Now here's where you say, well, you couldn't write it either. You couldn't write the no, I couldn't write it, but I'm just saying, my opinion, these are unpopular opinions, is that Yngwie's guitar playing is more impressive and impactful to me personally than David Gilmour, although I am so much closer to David Gilmour's style than Yngwie's style. Such a strange thing. Prince is very underrated guitarist too. No. The Metal Zone has uses. I use it to cut through my hot cake overdrive pedal. Creates a super powerful sound. Listen to the mountain of the... Okay, so there is a Metal Zone situation where people either think it sounds like a bumblebee or it sounds like heaven. Both opinions are wrong. It doesn't sound amazing and it doesn't sound awful if you know how to use it. It's like medium. It's mid-range. Multiple amps pedals are more important than multiple guitars. You have much more tonal variety in what you can create. A lot of people are afraid of that, I think. Nope. Guitar is more important than anything else in your rig. I don't want to hear it about the amps because are we guitar players or are we amp players? We're guitar players. You could have the greatest amp in the world and if your guitar can't stay in tune or play well, sorry, that's not gonna be good for you. But if I have an amazing guitar and a little cube amp, I'm gonna have a great time because it's all in here, baby. Always try before you buy. Most quality control sucks even at higher prices. As you check it out for yourself, it removes inconsistency. Not in the world of online purchases. We are not trying before we buy more than ever before, and I don't see that ever changing. Of course, try before you buy if you have the luxury, but sometimes it's actually fun to scour the internet and find something that inspires you and go on a whim, and when it arrives and it's just terrible, you regret that, and then you just do it all over again. We're sick people. Guitar players. Very profound, friend, the value of your time. You are a guitar philosopher. I'm not completely sure what this comment is referring to, but it may be something along the lines of, what do you want to spend your time on? You only have so much of it, so spend your time wisely. Why do I feel like a 6th grade teacher? I thought I was a guitar philosopher. What's going on? People always judge simple art by saying, I could have done that, but the point is, you didn't. They did. It isn't about complexity, it's about the creative vision. Yes, These are people who are sad, hopeless individuals who never will accomplish anything themselves and instead will ride on the coattails and dreams of those doing what it was they wish they did. It's a sad reality, but we all must live in it, make our own choices of whether to acknowledge these subservient losers or continue to ascend like a rocket ship into space. I know what I'm doing. Not everything in guitar playing has already been invented. Actually, I think we barely scratched the surface and there's still plenty of room for new guitars to make revolutions, big changes, and creating new trails, forging new paths, pioneering new ventures forward in the world of guitar. Who will it be to take the most important instrument in the world to the next level and beyond? And according to this opinion, the surface hasn't been scratched. 50, 60 years of amazing guitar work to look back on. No, none of that happened. We haven't scratched the surface yet. No great guitar playing has yet been done. Will you be the one to show us what this instrument is truly capable of? I strongly believe every guitar player should build at least one kit guitar from scratch so we know how to do basic repairs. While I may agree with you, I believe most guitar players will not be building their own guitars from scratch and will not be repairing their guitars and will not be changing their strings and will not be cleaning it. They're gonna just let their guitar be abused and grimed out. You know, some people say tone is in the sludge. Just buy the heaviest Les Paul you can find, record something with it, and start removing wood by taking a belt sander to the back of the... So this person is recommending to settle the light guitar versus heavy guitar debate, whether that affects guitar tone, to simply start with a heavy guitar and saw pieces off of it and see if the tone changes as you listen. And well, I'm pretty sure somebody already did that. I appreciate your comment about playing fast. You said something like many players who play slower playing to the song, they still may have fast licks or something like that. Billy Gibbons, my favorite all-time guitarist. The way he can play one note is amazing. He taught me less is more. However, I saw an old live video on a concert from the 70s and he shredded a solo crazy. It is great when guitar players who are known as more slow, I don't even know what to call them. When a guitar player who's not a shredder shreds, it's one of the greatest things. I'm left-handed and find fretting with my left hand way easier than strumming with it. You should get a righty guitar then. Looking through a lot of Wikipedia pages, the guy who seemed to last longs are the bass players. Maybe just in essence, the bass is what brings the music together and can set the groove. Let me take your word for it. Looking through a lot of Wikipedia pages. Sounds like credible research. Whenever someone says that the Edge would be terrible without his effects, I tell them Eddie Van Halen would have been helpless without strings on his guitar. What does that even mean? I don't think I understand this one. In the whole modern indie alt world, I would say the Edge is one of the most influential, more Edge stuff. There's so many out there who can create an atmosphere with their guitar today, and the Edge has a huge hand in that. I also believe that through Achtung Baby, that U2 is an absolutely fantastic and unique band. The Edge really has that cool delay thing going. We all know it. Johnny Hickman is the most underrated. Well, I don't know who Johnny Hickman is. I'm gonna have to look that up so I don't look like a complete idiot if it is indeed somebody important. Co-founder, co-songwriter of the band Cracker. I mean, this might actually be correct because I don't know Cracker and I don't know Johnny Hickman. My unpopular opinion is the Boss NS2 is a wonderful noise suppressor pedal and the only one you'll ever need. Yeah, I have one on my pedal board right there. And it is the only noise suppressor you'll ever need. It's the best one. I haven't watched your videos in a long time. I freaking love this video. I'm so glad you still make content. Thanks. I'm still here. Satch is my favorite guitar player of all time. I love all the other guitar players too, but I love his music. It speaks to me. Massively influential to me. I've gotten to interview him before on my channel, and he's just a really nice guy. You know, they say, don't meet your heroes, but it wasn't that case with him. Incredibly cool and just makes the best music, and he plays pentatonics better than anybody. His choices with pentatonics, you know, I'm very pentatonic focused. I got all the other tricks in the bag, but just like Satch, he has all the tricks in his bag and times a million. And he's so melodic and fresh with his approach. It's like that other comment about people who play slow and then when they whip out the fast lick, it's like, whoa, that was effective. He is the master of this because his melodies, he just does it effortlessly. His guitar sounds like a voice, and then he can also rip a 3-octave legato run, and it's just like, what was that? And then he's back. Yeah, so I agree. Satch is the best. I enjoy restringing on a Floyd Rose. Tuning one string while simultaneously detuning all the others is a really fun challenge. But just the fact that you enjoy restringing guitars is just an unpopular opinion, and I don't believe you. But it must be done. Luckily, back in the day, I made a video about restringing a Floyd Rose, if you're interested. Gary Moore is the most underrated guitarist. No, many people rate Gary Moore very highly. If you know about Parisian Walkways or Still Got the Blues, I need to say no more. He is a monster. You forgot the most popular signature guitar, the Les Paul. Yeah, isn't that actually the most popular signature guitar, a Les Paul? Do you think a Les Paul is a signature guitar? I mean, there's so many different models of them, they sort of become their own thing, but technically speaking, a Les Paul is a signature guitar for Les Paul. It's better to master your scales up and down the neck than to learn more full songs. Might I suggest a hybrid approach where you find songs that concentrate on harmony that utilizes the scale you're trying to learn, and that way you have a rhythmic bed with a nice harmonic structure to rip these scales over, and you still have that metronome element. You're not going to be quite as tight if you're using a song as opposed to a metronome with complete dryness, but hey man, have fun. I just got my Sur yesterday and it's by far the most beautiful thing I've ever held in my hands. I hope my girlfriend doesn't see this. Oh, I'm sure she won't mind. You know, if a girl is keeping tabs on your guitar love, maybe a new girl's in order. Or no girl. More guitars. I started on banjo, open G. It made transition to guitar so easy. I love open tunings. Starting on banjo seems a little daunting. I don't know if maybe mandolin would be easier. I mean, ukulele would absolutely be easier. But if you can play a banjo, you're probably gonna be pretty good at transitioning into guitar. Nirvana changed the crotchet of music for the worse. How could they change the crotchet of music for the worse when everyone says that they were really great and changed music forever? Oh wait, your unpopular opinion is that they changed that crotchet in a way that you would have liked to see it go a different way. So if grunge didn't happen in the 90s, what was gonna be next? Maybe Nirvana did change the crotchet of music for the worse. I'm curious on what Tyler's thoughts are on Ed Sheeran. He is a better guitar player than most of us. Strat middle pickup is by far the best of the three. Nope, the neck is much better. Wow, we're done already. Although I think that was only 49. What's your most unpopular opinion about guitar? I don't think I could possibly do a part 3. I mean, this was pretty spicy. But if you have some, leave a comment. Maybe I'll do part 3. Thanks so much for watching. Till next time, keep shredding.